Hello everyone, trust we're all good. Today I'll be showing you how to make a cowl neck silk top. It's so easy and very beautiful for beginners to grab on, and this is what the cowl neck silk top look like. And without further rambling and talking, let's get down to the illustration. But please, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, support your girl by hitting the subscribe button and put on your notification bell icon. So let's get started. On the table I have the materials and the tools I'll be using. I'm using a 1 meter silk satin fabrics. I have my ruler and everything I need. Firstly, before we start, I'll have to get my basic pattern for the front bodice, and that's what I have on my table. So go to my video and watch how to draft your own pattern, and from that pattern I'll be walking down through it. Step 1, what we have to do is to shorten the armhole curve by removing 2 cm just to make it narrow. So that is the 2 cm. I've taken the measurement. Now I'll put it on the pattern and mark out the point. And after marking out the point, so the next thing we need to do is to go to the shoulder line, to the shoulder length. You have to shorten it out by 1 inch. That's taking out 1 inch from it to reduce it, and then you connect that 1 inch by making a curve towards the armhole across that 2 cm with 2. So that's the curve line we've created. And afterward, the next thing we need to do now, that line will be taken out of because we don't need it anymore, just to make because it's a sleeveless short, is a cami nature. The next thing I need to do now is to cut through the midline of the armhole. That's the midline point. So that part will be taken off, and then I will have to go to the chest line and slash it out with my scissors. In that way, slashing out the chest line, as I've pointed out, is a way of adding fullness to form the cowl fold. So that is where I'm going to use as my breaking point. So you slash out the chest line, and that chest line will help you to add your fullness. So the next thing we need to do now is we'll have to put a new paper. So I decided to use a newspaper just for you to see a different color shade of paper. That paper will be the supporting paper to add the fullness on the pattern. So we put there and measure out 8 cm, which is equivalent to 3 inch. That 8 cm is the amount I want to add to the fullness, to the cowl fold, because that is where the cowl fold will start from. So I want to add that 8 cm. So I'll go ahead and make out that mark 8 cm, and I'll locate that point, and then make sure that the first one, the lower part is firm. Then this slash upper part will be added to the mark of that 8 cm, like the way I lifted it up and placed it on that location. This is how you should add your own fullness. You could choose to increase your fullness above 8 cm, but I think 8 cm is okay, and it's perfect. So you balance all points along that side and try to add your seam allowance 1 cm along the side seam. And in so doing, we've been able to create the cowl fold by that adding that 8 cm. Now we have to draw a parallel line at the top, just a line parallel to the top part there, just to match out this. So just draw a line the way I've just placed my ruler, draw it that way, and that's the end of the cowl sleeve. But at the same time, now we need to add what we need to balance up the other side of it in a parallel way and make sure that everything is okay. So for the top part of that pattern, just try and create the facing by folding the newspaper in that way. Just when we fold it now, we just try to balance things underneath the pattern and cut out every unwanted part, like cutting out the excess in front there. The next thing we need to do is to trace out the armhole. In so doing, we've created like a facing for the fabrics. By starting from that top, I'll trace out the whole armhole. And then measure out 2 inch along after the chest line, just to balance the facing, to like use it for turning of the armhole and allow it to sit. You see the effect when I do the illustration for the sewing section. So you just cut it out now, and that brings us to the end of the facing that is needed for making the cowl neck. So I flipped out the pattern, the facing forward, just to mark it to the starting point of the neckline there, the brown paper. So I'll just connect it with the ruler and just draw a straight line to make like a reasonable facing on the cowl neck. What I want mostly is that the armhole has balanced each other, and I have 2-inch downward just to like create like something on it. So I just created like a curve just to balance it. So here we go, that is the facing that will be on the cowl neck fold. So with this, that brings us to the end of what the cowl neck front pattern should look like, and then I'll open it up for you to see what we have now. So that's the facing for the cowl neck. Just the way we do facing for any other dress we have, you also need a facing for your cowl neck, and that helps us like to come to the end of the front pattern. We'll be working on the back pattern, and then I'll show you what you have to do on the back pattern. So let's get our back bodice ready, and that's the end. So for the back pattern, we're going to work on this. Now I have it on my table, and it's so easy to work on the back. The first thing you need to do is identify your chest line, that is the chest line, and then go down 1 cm or 2 cm. Make a mark at that location and below your chest line, then connect that 1 cm to the armhole point, just like the way I've done my curve ruler, and create the line for it. And that is now the new point for your back pattern. So we'll cut through with the scissors, and this is now our required back pattern for the cowl neck. Now we'll have to do a facing too for the back, because you can't just leave the raw edge like that. So you go ahead and measure 2 cm. You remember the front one too, I measured 2 cm at the side. So this one you measure the 2 cm across. You will see the effect of all these 2 cm when I do the sewing illustration together with this video. So that is it, and this is the effect. I've created the back facing and the back pattern for you to see. Now the next thing we need to do is to work on our strap, the strap that will hold the front and the back together. What you need to do for this is to get your front, the cut leftover, what you cut off from the front and what you took off from the back, put them together and join them, and then measure the full length of that. That is the length of the strap you need to use. Then you add 1 cm to sew the back and 1 cm to attach the front. So all together you will add 2 cm to the length you have measured. So I've measured my own, I've written them down on the paper. I've made the strap. The strap is 3 cm wide. So that is the strap that I'll fold and do the cami connection for the front and back. This is what will connect the front and back. Since we don't have any sleeve, the strap will help in doing that. So the first thing we have to do is to work on the strap. That's the sewing part, because it's very easy. I've gone ahead to get the strap. I folded it into two half with and press it with an iron, and then I'll just go ahead and sew it like 1 cm, and then I'll sew it and with my machine and sew it to the end. When I finish sewing the strap, the next thing I need to do is to do what we call the turning in. So please just watch the video on how I do my turning in. That will be more better off than explaining the whole process. So I'm just going to put a thread and a needle and put it at the other edge of the fabrics just to have it firmly secured. So just watch me please. And then what I'll do after securing that edge, now I will go ahead and turn over, push the needle through the holes, and then turn it over by pulling out the material, the clean side, so all the raw edge will go into the other side of it, so it will be like inside out. So please just watch the video. So I'm just turning out to have the clean side outward and the other pieces inward. I'll do that for the two strap that needs to be used on the cowl neck top. Please, if you haven't subscribed, support me by hitting the subscribe button. So just watch what I'm doing, and that will finally help to like move to the next stage after doing this turning for this strap. So now this is a clean edge outward. I'll go and press them with my iron neatly, and then I'll show you what next we have to do. So this is the front pattern. Now you can see the effect of that facing I did on the cowl neck. So it has helped to like turn the cowl neck the other way around. So at the edge of the other part that has the facing is where I'm going to attach the breaking edge. Where I did the facing, I made a notch there, is where I'm going to attach the this rope, like I made this connecting rope. So I'm going to put it inside this way so that it will stay at that angle outwardly. Please just watch what I'm going to do, because it's more easier when you watch what I'm trying to do than explaining. So it's going to be at that point, that location. So once that thing has sit properly on that location, I'll go ahead and sew along the armhole area and secure that firmly. I'll repeat it for both sides, and that finally will secure the strap. I'll connect it to the back, and this is the final look of what it looks like. You can see, very pretty. We have the whole package is complete. The inside looks very neat, and this is what a cowl dress looks, a cowl slick top looks. That's it. That's the strap there. That's everything. Well done, well knitted. And following this procedure, you should be able to do yours. Yeah, you secure the edge there. Yes, you have to secure the edge at both sides so that it will not be falling outwardly. And finally, this is the end of the cowl top. If this video was helpful to you, please don't forget to help me hit the subscribe button. Remember, you can only support your girl by following me and watching all my video. Thank you so much, and see you all in my next video.